All right. It's that time. It's time for Beyond Sight and Sound. Let's do this.
Hey boys and girls, we are going to talk about S&W shooters and prospectors. What is S&W shooters and prospectors?
We at S&W Shooters and Prospectors help people find treasure.
Did you say treasure?
Yes, treasure. Just listen to this amazing review from our happy customer, Jackie Sparrow.
Chocolate ship shape and a pleasure to deal with. I was able to buy everything that I needed at prices that were shillings less than others. I found my 9 pieces of 8 in no time. Savvy?
I know you're asking yourself, why should I shop at S&W Shooter and Prospectors?
Chuck Smalley has over 45 years of metal detecting experience. He works with each customer one-on-one to customize their setup to match their skill level.
So if you always dreamt of being a pirate, contact Chuck at S&W Shooters and Prospectors and he'll dig up a great deal for you.
Eye-patch and rum not included.
Caution. Please do not operate motor vehicles or power equipment while under the influence of this show. Listening to this show could cause side effects such as bouts of laughter, violent binges of cabin fever, and even dreams of silver and gold. Please be advised. Now that the fine print is out of the way, on with the show.
All right, we're back. We're live once again. Oh, and it's been something getting everything up and running here tonight. Facebook gremlins, that's what it is, I do believe. But hey, real quick, for you Illinois listeners, listen up. Got some news for you of a post that I'll be making tonight, probably after the show. We'll see. I got to find out. I need some details first, though, so we'll see. Let's get Chuck in here first. Make sure everything's working.
Hey!
There.
How's everybody doing tonight?
All right. Not bad. Not bad. So, we've actually, this should be a pretty interesting show tonight.
Oh, we got a heck of a show for you. They did good yesterday.
And how?
Yeah, they did. They were slaying it.
18 silvers.
Yeah. Good day. Good day. I think the oldest I saw was a 97 Barber time for silver, but boy, they were getting into the Mercs and
anything.
A Walker and a Washington, and then some other neat stuff come up. You'll have to check that out on Barks Detecting there, and good YouTube. Good job.
Yeah, any day your group can go out and find 18 silvers is a hell of a good day. Especially when that's a group of 3.
Yeah, they did good.
We've had the group of 3 on tonight, had we thought about it, but we got 2 of the 3 tonight. That
yeah, and that MANTICORE Clays is singing the tune of Silver, and the 900 of Kevin's, and was doing pretty good too. So they had a good day. They really did.
Yeah, they did. That's for sure. And for those that are interested as well, we have the link to Barks Detecting Bits on YouTube. That's Kevin's YouTube channel. And I believe the video is up there already, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You can see it on click it on Facebook, and it'll pop you over to his YouTube site.
So for those of you that aren't subscribed to their channel, go ahead and click the link, check it out, subscribe, notification bell. Yep. So let's get them in here as well before I make that announcement that kind of pertains to Illinois diggers, maybe. So we'll get them in here.
Hey, guys.
Hey, everybody.
How is it going?
Oh, another day in paradise.
Nice. There we go. We'll present them kind of. We'll put Chuck and I to the smaller screens and present them on the large.
There you go. Yeah. That works.
Oh, well. So before we get going with all of this, I do have a question to phrase to Illinois diggers. Who is aware or knows where Evanston Beach is? I'm assuming somewhere in the central Illinois area.
Evanston's a suburb of Chicago, I think.
Yeah, I hear
okay.
Some of the Chicago boys hunt that pretty good.
Okay, so it's
he does.
It's free game then.
Yeah, I think so.
No detecting restrictions or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
Not that I know of. No, I'm not saying that there isn't. Chicago's kind of finicky with some spots.
They're a little funny. Yeah. So I'll preface this with a digger that is willing to roll the dice, because that's up to you. Hit Evanston Beach. I've been contacted by a person. They lost a gold bracelet that means an awful lot to them. And it really must mean a lot to them because there is a reward attached to this bracelet.
Wow.
So rather than, throwing it in a group, we'll announce it here, and I'll post it over to the Beyond Sight and Sound page, a photo of the bracelet on the arm. And I won't mention the reward there, but if anybody wants further details, they can always contact me at Josh Kimmel, and we can discuss what the reward pertains. But the way it sounds, if this bracelet can be recovered and returned to the owner, the reward's nice enough. Somebody could walk away with a nice upgrade of a machine.
Ooh. Ooh. Very good. Is it like a tennis bracelet? Do you know? You know where it's diamond all the way around?
I don't believe it is.
There you go. Dennis Grettencourt, 1251 Lakeshore Boulevard.
Oh, well, see how that's service.
Yep.
With that out of the way, I guess welcome aboard to both Kevin and Clay. We appreciate you guys for taking the time to sit down with us tonight and share some
Stories.
stuff about detecting and everything.
Yeah. Let's hear about
And
it.
I'm sure that Chuck and myself and even some of the people in the chat have some questions for you guys. But I'm going to start out with first. Let's see. We'll have Kevin answer first, and then Clay. But how did you get started in the hobby? What prompted you to pick up a metal detector and start doing this?
Well, I got a used Fisher CZ5 from my brother-in-law for $250, and it was by the serial number a prototype model. I took it out. The first day I was out, I got $80-something worth of change in the park that was across from the apartment that I lived in, and I ended up staying out there till 3 o'clock in the morning. I went in when it got dark and grabbed a flashlight, and this was before a pinpointer even existed. I was out there just digging away, shoving it in my pockets, and I had the headphones on, some big old giant Radio Shack headphones. You can't hear nothing outside of them. She tapped me on the shoulder, about shot me up into a tree, scared me to death, and she said, you coming in soon? I says, well, I got about 5-6 passes to make, and I'll be done with the park. And she goes, well, I hope so. You know what time it is? I said, no. She says, 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I got to go in. I got to get up and go to work in the morning. But after that, I was hooked. And I got a fairgrounds that was about 10 miles south of me that was abandoned. Hadn't seen the county fair in 20, 30 years. And I started pulling silver out of there left and right. My first silver was a 1952 Canadian quarter. And from then on out, I caught the bug. I couldn't drop it.
Wow, that's cool. I mean, because those Canadian silvers, they ring up a little lower, so it's not where you would necessarily expect to see silver.
Right. Well, I've known these two characters for a long time, and it's been a lot of fun.
Right.
Clay's the church mouse in the group. He said something. Then
so how did you get started, Clay, and what prompted you to start?
Well, I started when I followed him around most of the time, just until I learned how to do it on my own. And sometimes he'd have to work and I'd have to go with, so I'd borrow his machine and hit a few places while we were out. And one of the first ever silvers that I found was a mercury dime at an old home site, using his machine.
Nice.
After I found that, I was basically wanting to find more old coins and stuff, and I was really hooked on it and wanting to find more.
Well, I can certainly understand where a mercury dime would do that. Not bad.
And then not long after that, we had a home site that the old man was just tearing down. And the old man told me stories of how he used to live back in the day and what they would do as kids and all that. And so he was tearing down the old house, and he ripped up part of the sidewalk and told me to go check there. And there was another mercury dime right under the sidewalk where he told me to check.
Oh, nice.
The guy was 80 at the time, and he was one of my customers I delivered to. And it was him and it was Clay and a friend of his. And by the time we got done there, he came over on a 4-wheeler with a 12-pack of Pepsi and a bag full of like Halloween candy, and he says, "Boys, come here, let's take a break." And the stories that he filled their heads with by the day after when school let out, that guy was a living legend.
Because you know, some of those old guys are a wealth of information on other places to go to.
Oh yeah. He pointed me to a couple. He was a good old guy. He just passed away like in the last year or two. He was like 97 or 98 or something like that. But he was an ordinary old guy right up to his last days. We went out there with Clay and one of his friends. He was using his four-wheeler, taking out some snow fence out in the front of the place. I said, "Hey, Kenny," I said, I got the boys with me. Why don't you let us give you a hand with that? And he looks me right in the face and he says, "Let me tell you one thing. The same guy that put these fences up is going to take them down without any help." I said, okay.
Right. Have at it. Let me get in your way.
He was a good old guy, though.
That old Fisher detector don't owe you a dime.
Oh, no. It paid for itself the first probably 2 years I had it.
Yep. That's cool. That's
Nice.
cool. But we got you into the right stuff now.
Yeah.
Clay worked. Clay had to work on him some, didn't you, Clay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Clay upgrades and I got to follow. That's usually how the system works.
Well, hey, as long as it works, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it took them both a little bit to come to Mine Lab, I found out the other night. But once I had found out that they had recently switched over to Mine Lab, you know, past couple years, whatever, I'd made sure to tell them, welcome to the dark side.
Dark side, you betcha. Yep. That's they talked to me a lot about it. And Clay pulled the trigger. And
I still got the picture of him handing you the cash at DTH, Chuck. That's going to be a blackmail picture somewhere down the road.
we're in trouble, buddy. So, but with all you guys is hunting, what's the oldest coin you've gotten, Kevin, and you've, Clay?
You go first.
Well, actual coin-wise, my oldest came from a bean field up by us. That was it was either 1787 or 1788 colonial copper.
Cool.
And then silver-wise, I got my very first bust cap dime in a dirt pile at a local park here that Clay didn't want to go to it. I went by there. They had some dirt spread out, and he says, "I'm not hunting the park." And I went out there the next morning, and I pulled my first bust cap out of the ground, and I was doing the video on it, and I was shaking like a leaf when I saw it.
That wasn't too long ago, was it? That wasn't that long ago.
No, it was Memorial Day, not this past Memorial Day, but I think the Memorial Day before. I think it was 23.
That's pretty commendable, considering that both of those are very far and few between in Illinois.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Well, the place I found the bust cap at, they were it was a city park for a long time. It was a riding park, which is where people go to have like a picnic and ride their horse and carriage around a track. And it would have been one of the banks of the track that they built the tennis courts on. Well, they ripped them out and redid them completely. And
that's cool.
Piled all the dirt and stuff that they had dug out from under it and spread it all out. And sure enough, boom, there it was in the dirt that they had pulled out.
You got to work that tear out stuff. A few years back over Clinton, Iowa at Eagle Point, they tore out roadway from the top of the hill at the playground area all the way around to CCC castle where they built that all the way. You know, they tore out almost a mile of road, and that was a gold mine.
Oh, I bet.
It was. So you got to work that stuff.
We got a lot of sidewalks like over in LaSalle, Peru area over here that they've been ripping out, but it's kind of a contest to see who gets there first, because I know a lot of the guys in IVHRRA, they're on that thing like a hawk, and I'll go out there and try to keep up.
Them tear outs, they're not open for long.
No, well, it seems like when they tear the sidewalks out around here, they come back in with like some cinders and stuff and throw it in there just to kind of keep it dried out, and it's got all kinds of iron mixed in with it. It makes it some real hard picking to get anything good.
Right. What about Clay? What's your oldest?
My oldest is a 1801 large cent.
Oh.
I found, if I'm remembering right,
Bolinos.
We found it at a house site that we researched. It was on a corner, and it was a bean field at the time. And I think, if I'm remembering right, we went out there as it was like right after there was snow on the ground too, and the ground wasn't frozen yet. So it's fun digging in the snow to find stuff.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
It was the end of December when you got that.
There again, an 1801. That's pretty commendable too for Illinois.
It is. That's 17 years before Illinois became a state, so that's getting back there.
Yeah,
That's
certainly
almost unheard of to find anything that old around here. But you got to think too, coins probably anywhere from 20 to 40 years old was what people had in their hands when they first started coming around.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you actually, where you're at and down towards Springfield, from you down to Springfield, there's a corridor through there that had a lot of travel, a lot of people coming through, and they made their way over to the Mississippi and expanded from that way. So you do get some older stuff, especially a little further south and east. So that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Like in terms of Illinois as a whole, they're actually in a pretty good spot.
Yeah. So, and Clay, since you've been using the MANTICORE, have you noticed any changes like in depth and sensitivity and depth of that machine versus what you've ran before?
Yeah, my old machine was an AT Max. I started with the stock coil on that.
Yeah.
And then eventually I switched to the Reaper coil when they came out with that.
Yeah.
And that improved the depth on the AT Max quite a bit. And then after that, I decided to switch to the MANTICORE. And the MANTICORE did really well. First, month of using it, I was really impressed with it.
Okay.
And then they updated a few things here and there, made improvements, and it just got better over time.
Yeah. Yeah, the updates have really helped them out a lot. So, and then Kevin, you switched over to the 900.
Yep. From the Apex, Garrett Apex.
That's a really good machine.
And
the Apex isn't a bad little machine, and you put one of their newer coils on it also.
Yep. I kind of figured out with the Garrett coils, stick with what Garrett offers on them, not the Nell coils and stuff like that, because it seems like the Garrett coils really get the depth compared to the Nell coils.
Right.
Nell coils are bottle cap sniffers. That's what I always called them, because every time I'd put a Nell coil on, I'd come out with a pocket full of bottle caps. So, oh, that's a quarter. No, it's not.
And since you two,
yeah, the Nell coils are good at nickels.
Finding nickels with them.
Oh yeah. Since you two guys jumped, I know Emery jumped too.
Yeah, well, Emery kind of just getting started in it.
Yeah. So we'll have to track
he
him
had
a
some
little bit.
Garrett's, and then he kind of learned what he was doing with that, I think, and then he got the 800.
Yep.
Oh, so another mine labber.
Yep.
And he's thinking about upgrading to a MANTICORE.
Yeah,
still.
he's on that fence of saying, do I just bite the bullet and get the MANTICORE or what?
Right.
Right?
And I told him, I said, wait and see what that little coil that he's getting for it. Wait and see what that does. You might have a little renewed passion coming on with that thing, because I got a spot saved for him to send it through the torture test.
Got to kind of nudge him over the fence with that, Clay.
As he sees how good I'm doing with my machine with the MANTICORE, he's thinking about it.
Yeah. There you go.
Clay had 9 silvers yesterday. I had 5, and Emery had 4.
Yep, every piece of silver that comes out of the ground, he thinks a little more seriously. Already see it.
No. So, in as a group,
what is that?
you guys find some pretty cool stuff, and you get out together, and that's the big thing. You're all together, friends and dad, and having a good time out there. But you tear it up, and you guys do your homework, and you get into some good places.
Oh yeah, I cannot overemphasize doing research. Research is the key to finding anything good
Anymore.
Frankie's got a lot of resources that I use, and then
I do too.
have my system of the older plat maps, followed by some newer plat maps, followed by the aerials, and followed by a current aerial map.
Right. So we're going to get Frankie back on talking to people about mapping and research and historical maps. Frank uses them. I use his. He calls me up. He wants me to get Onyx, or I think Onyx, put on my phone too. So we'll get that on there because
I did a test trial of that Onyx hunt. I liked it. Clay's got a different one though.
Yeah, I use the Regrid app. It works about the same.
Now that sounds like something new I've not heard of. Explain that.
Regrid.
Clay.
Yeah, Regrid. It shows the size of the property, like the acres and everything, and it shows the owner of the property also.
Cool. Very cool.
And is that a monthly subscription base, yearly?
As far as I know, it's completely free. You just download it and you can use it.
Well, we better.
Oh, wow. Even better.
That's what everybody likes to hear. We like free. Onyx has a charge and different levels of it. So, but I'll take a look for that Regrid app. I have to check
is that only available in the Apple App Store or Google Play?
I use Apple. I don't know about the other programs though, the other phones.
We'll check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Good tip, folks.
Definitely. It's been a while since I've heard of an app that I'm going, wait a minute, I don't recognize that one.
Yeah, but the only bad thing I hate about those apps is you get you look for the property owner and it is owned by a bank. Then you're in a pickle. That's the only thing I just hate.
Yeah, you're gonna find that
right down to the T, and then it's owned by Second National Bank of whatever, and dead end.
Yeah, you're right there, but still, Frank reminded me of Maprika he wants me to put on, but Regrid, we'll have to try that.
Yeah, and Maprika isn't bad either.
Yeah, I've used that one before too.
Yeah, I've tracked down a number of home sites with it.
Now, if you guys don't do I know you work creeks. There's some creeks that you like to wade, but do you do much beach hunting?
We have a section of the Illinois River by us that's owned by St. Bede Academy, and they actually barged in sand to create beach spaces that they would rent out to, you know, partiers and stuff for $500 a year. And we almost find it easier to go up to a more natural shoreline to hunt, as we've walked up the Illinois River from Spring Valley almost all the way to Peru, and the sand is just impossible to hunt in because there's cans down 2 feet deep and you're getting some killer signals on them. You chase down and you're, oh, hey, look at that. It's a Bud Light can 2 feet down.
Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't really got into actual beach hunting. We went up to Chicago Dig Fest, the first one that they had, and that was kind of a learning experience for us because we had never used a sand scoop before. So
there you go. It is a learn, you know, us drylanders up here, and then being along the Mississippi River, I don't have 3 feet of sand. I got 3 to 5 inches and 2 feet of mud. It's not easy to scoop in.
Well, Clay's kind of figured out that if you find a little bit of a shoreline that's got more of a rocky base to it, you're going to hit the clay level down a lot quicker, and that's pretty much where any coins or anything you're going to want to take home with.
Yeah.
It's going to hit that clay layer and stop.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's not. In the Mississippi, the clay layer doesn't always stop it. It kind of sucks it in. So,
well, and I'm not sure, you know, what the current and flow is like of that area, the Illinois River, compared to the Mississippi. But yeah, I know at least the Mississippi, it can get a little more angry and violent.
yes.
So it'll suck it in and everything else.
Oh yeah, the Illinois, it doesn't take much to get it up to flood stage, but I mean, it was up to flood stage a couple weeks back, and now it's almost droughted down again to a point where, hey, it's time to go out and get into the areas we couldn't reach before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So does it go from kind of like Illinois River to Illinois Creek?
Not really. It is wide up over here by us, but it's I think a lot of the reason it drops so fast or rises so fast is because a lot of it is silted in, but it's just enough for the barges to get in and out.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice.
So when you guys go out, and I know you're field hunting and that kind of stuff. Have you used the tools on the mapping and that?
Oh yeah, we well, just this past couple weekends, we had Emery take us out to a couple places, and I was actually able to sit in the passenger seat with my old 1878 plat maps, and as we're driving along, I'm just following it with my finger on the map. And I'm like, oh, hey, there was a house in this field. There was a house in that field. Holy cow, I didn't even know that. So, and then Clay's in the back seat with his phone on regrid, popping up the property owner of it. And it's like, holy cow, we got a whole new world awaiting already. And, you know, we've hit LaSalle County and Bureau County pretty hard, but now we've got some new windows of opportunity to go after.
Cool.
And Emery's got a gold mine of property owners and stuff that he knows through connections and stuff, and that's kind of what led us to our hunt
yesterday. Kind of the landowner whisperer.
Yeah, he is. And he lives down there. You know, he lives out in the country, so. You know, he gets a lot of word of mouth. I know that.
That helps. So in your evolution of growing as detectress, and Kevin, you've been doing it. What year did you start? You remember?
92, I think.
There you go.
91 or 92, somewhere in there.
And he hung with you as soon as he could probably walk.
That's just about right. he was about 4 years old when he started swinging a machine.
Yep.
He started with an old it was a mid-grade Radio Shack that my wife used to go out with me with, and 2 9-volt batteries, a 6-inch concentric coil, and didn't find a lot with it, but that was what we could get at the time.
Well, that's understood. So now you've come to the point. You guys are out there. You're doing your YouTube. You're working a lot of neat places, and next year you're going to jump into looking for gold.
Yeah, it's going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you both have a machine that will work well up there.
Right. And that was something we were going to get into too, was what they're hoping to do in Alaska. What, are they going to have fun with it or what? And before we get into that, a quick update for the viewers. The Regrid app that Clay mentioned, that is available in both Apple and Android app stores. It's called the Regrid Property app.
Yep. And I just noticed a name pop up on our site here. Hey, Emery, how you doing, buddy? He's on watching you.
There's our partner in crime.
Yep. We should have sent you a link and had you on too, Emery. You got to protect your turf.
Yeah. Well, they've got the link. They can send it to him if they want.
Yep.
Well, if he'd get on right away. I don't know.
I don't know if is he got, what's his computer? Has he got a camera on the computer, Clay?
I don't
We don't know.
No. Okay. We'll get him on there some night. We'll get him on there.
Always get him on.
But you guys had a pretty good hunt going, and that was a lot of fun to watch. And yesterday. So, but anyway, the gold hunting, you guys, it's just another step, and then you guys will probably end up on a beach somewhere. You got to go looking. So that's all part of the whole game of it, and we all get into it.
It's Alaska. There's world-class fishing too.
Yeah. I can't imagine you're not trying to fish one day with Frank. Frank, fish.
They might be interested in hiding out with Frank for a day or two fishing.
Yeah, especially if they go up the long track to get the northern, but you'll see a chunk of Alaska a lot of people don't ever get to see, and remote. And it's a 90-mile trek total. 50 of it's by road to get up where they keep the boats, 55, and then 35 by boat up onto the lake. It's quite the trek there, but it's worth every minute of it. I did it once years ago when they first did it. And, man, I'm here to tell you, you see Alaska that way, at that point, you're 30 miles below the Arctic Circle. So that's something for you to think over and talk about. Frank will tell you all about it. He's got pictures.
I know Frank will tell us about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Frank could care less about that gold of those big northerns and those.
Hey, we're his Plano tackle box connection. We're constantly running up to my mom's and swinging by the Plano outlet store, picking him up goodies.
Oh, yeah. He loves that up there.
He's like a kid. I went there with him once. He was like a kid in a candy store walking in there.
Oh, yeah. You can't get him out.
He's almost had to go get a U-Haul to take home what he took home with him.
Right.
So, but anyway, with all your hunting and all the traveling you've done, what do you think, what is your most outstanding trip as a group? Where and what, the hunts, what brings you out more often? Not just the hunt. I'm talking when you like yesterday. I'm talking going to the organized hunts, that kind of stuff. I know you guys like to do that.
I kind of liked DTH when they had it in Stockton, but we were not smart enough did not have a camper yet, and we were in a tent, and it got down to 41 degrees that night.
Yeah, it was brisk.
And Clay ended up sleeping down in the car, and I slept on a cot that was sitting on an angle to a point where I kept falling out of it. And it was fun, but the nights were long.
Yeah, that can be.
Like shortly after that, the decision came to get a camper.
Oh yeah. Yep. We're going to Dig Fest, and we got the little camper ready to rock and roll. We got all the amenities on it except for air conditioning, but the way it's set up, we don't really need the air conditioning.
That's good.
There you go.
Frank's got his little camper too. You guys get out and do that. Sometimes my idea of camping is going back, putting my feet up, and having a toddy and turning the heat up if I need it. I've done a lot of camping, trust me, all through Alaska and other places we camped. And but no, that's cool. And you guys, you bring the family together on this all, and it's fun. So you'll probably be going to Ramoska and Landau's hunt.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to Dig Fest.
Dig Fest. And then what's next?
Next is fields will be coming out. We're going to be exploring a lot of our new places that we got that we spotted on the map, and
good.
Even go back to a lot of our old fields that we've been going back to some of these fields. 10 years now?
Yeah.
And
still
hit them one more time and they'll produce.
Yeah. About the McLean County Club that we're going to.
Oh yeah, we're going down to the McLean County Club's going to be having a fall hunt. As far as I know, we're going to be going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, I've been able to dodge my umpiring schedule around everything, so that's working out
good. That's good. And
That's
John was saying he already had your camper spot picked for you.
We're next to Frank, I see.
Yep. There you go. There you go. He's got you all taken care of.
Yeah, we'll have the grill going. This is one thing with our camper. Most of these campers have a 2-burner stove on them. This doesn't have a 2-burner stove. This has got an actual gas grill that attaches to it. And I'll tell you what, it's opened up a whole new world opportunity.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
I'll tell you at the Iowa, Illinois hunts that they used to have over at Camp Oakwood, these guys would come, they'd camp out there, and then they'd fry up mushrooms and fish, and everybody ate pretty well. It was good.
And Frank would make crap in a wrap in the morning.
Yep. That was one of the highlights.
That's the highlights of it. That's the fun of it.
Yep. Then I'd bring my boards. Everybody'd be throwing bags for a while, and then we'd have the nighttime hunt. And then by that time, Frank's homemade wine was passed around pretty good. So that nighttime hunt was pretty interesting.
Yeah. See, on those nights it could have been cold. You wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Frankie's wine warms you up, right?
Oh yeah, it did. That was a spectacular place to have any kind of hunt. It was just like a postcard, picture perfect.
Yeah, all was. I mean, and I don't know, did you come to the real early hunts up there when they first started having them?
I'd say we probably went up there for them for at least 6 or 7 years before they ended up pulling out of there.
The early hunts, that place was a good place just to detect. I mean, They had an old volleyball court in the back, and I walked that. I'm popping. They hadn't had any hunts over it. I'm popping marks. I got a barber. I got Indians and this kind of stuff in the back corner, and I'm going, this is older than what they think. And it's always kind of been a grove, but unfortunately, with it being leased from the quarry company, then they found out the lease was read a certain way, and we lost it. So
I think they went back down into like the creek or the ravine down in there, and he found some fairly old bottles down in there too.
Yeah. So it's a really neat place. If we ever get a chance to get that back, I hope we can.
Yeah, that'd be spectacular.
Yeah,
that's a fun time out there.
And with all the places you two have been and the things that you've found, I know you guys had mentioned what your oldest coins were, but what's your kind of favorite find that you've made?
I think one of my favorites right now I got earlier this year out at one of the I&I hunts. I got that 1876 Carson City seeded quarter that wasn't even 2 inches deep right on a hillside. That really shook me up when I popped that out of the ground.
That was over in Davenport. Yeah.
That would be a good one. What about you, Clay?
Was my favorite find?
Yeah.
Has to be a large coat button that I found next to a Civil War general's house. And from what we've found, it is from either around or before the War of 1812 time. So
it was a cavalry button.
Wow.
That's nice.
Yep, the guy that owned the house, we did some door knocking over there, and we found out that the guy's last name that owned the house was Hunt. And he told us that it used to belong to a General Henderson that was a Civil War general. And there's this gold calligraphy H in the window above the front door. So it kind of suited him to be the owner of the house. Both names started with H. We really had that. That was we got 3 yards all net tied to one another, and I think Clay got his first seeded.
First seeded.
His first seeded came from there too. So we really hit that place hard.
That's cool.
And the coat button was in pretty decent condition, cleaned up okay?
It was cracked and like the front part fell off of it, but I've got it in a little box now to where it shouldn't deteriorate anymore.
Oh, there you go. Nothing wrong with that then.
Cool.
Yeah, I still want to find like a Civil War or Confederate, belt buckle or breastplate or something like that. That's one of my big ones on my bucket list, even though my bucket list is getting kind of thin, but about the only thing I haven't found coin wise is bust cap got knocked off last year, and any kind of gold coin, and I need a half cent, and I've got the 20 cent, I've got the trimes, I've got just about every seeded. It took me up until, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago before I got my first seeded quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the seeded half knocked off my list over 10 years ago.
Now that 20 cent piece, was that natural or seeded, Hunt?
Yeah, that was natural. That was that I can't remember. That was at an old home site somewhere that they tore stuff down and moved the dirt around a bunch.
That's phenomenal. Good job.
And Clay got his first trime out of a old schoolhouse field.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like you guys have had quite the luck finding trimes.
I have got 3 or 4 of them now, and 2 of them came out of one field.
Yeah.
And you know, it seems those trimes are found mostly in fields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a couple half dimes, and boy, are they paper thin. I mean, it just about. I thought I had a trime, and I took a better look at it, and I'm like, wait a minute, nope, this is a little bit bigger. It is a half dime. Yeah, Frank's asking if I found anything with the old atlas. Yeah, that's that green plat book you gave us, Frank. That kind of guided us to yesterday's killer hunt.
Even better. Sometimes they can be who you know.
That's right. That's right. So
I see Alan Lindau's in too.
oh yeah, we got the whole crew working here. John and Alan are in, and Bob Holycross. There's a bunch of them in there. Frankie. Yeah.
Bob Holycross better be out hitting the beaches pretty hard now that Big Deborah has passed on.
Yeah, you'd think he'd be beelining across that beach. Depends upon how it tore it up, but anyway, guys, that's pretty cool. So just keep after it. We'll have to work on Emery a little bit. Frank will deliver that to you, by the way, you guys, for Emery. So he'll be all set. Since you're on there, Emery, there you go. Your coil's on its way with Frank. I even walked it out, guys, and put it in the car myself.
Oh, that way Frank couldn't forget.
That's right. That's right. It went in there, and Frank had a bunch of books that he'd loaned me. I sent him back with him and some other stuff, and I put it all in there. And he started laughing, and he said, I think I know why you're doing that. It's taken care of. What are you guys hoping for the next? What's your, besides now next year, you're going up to Alaska with the crew and me, and
which has got to be kind of a big adventure in its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figure I better take one once in a lifetime trip.
Hey, and Dennis is going again.
Yeah, Clay was happy when he found that out.
Yeah,
I think he's worried he's gonna get dragged off by a polar bear or something.
Yeah.
Or a Yeti. A Yeti's gonna come and get him.
Yeah. So, but right now the trip is booked and it's full. So
yeah, there's even a waiting list.
There's a waiting list. So it's interesting. Well, hopefully that you guys, we get you over some fresh, well, not even fresh. The stuff that was found was off old tailings that had been pushed in the road beds in different areas. And you'll get a crack at it. You'll walk away with a Popeye forearm, though, after you hack away at that.
Hey, we've been working on stamina and endurance the last couple times.
There you go. Let me tell you,
it'll come in handy.
Hacking at that rock and stuff is a lot different up there than it is hacking sand and dirt here. You think gravel's bad? Wait till you hack this stuff a little bit. It can be
definitely going to be a workout.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it will.
Yep.
And 20 hours of daylight. Now that's going to be a. Clay told me the other day, he says, don't be getting tired and going to bed early. And I says, I ain't going to have no control over that.
Yeah. And they like that. They like that in the wee hours there when it's 10 o'clock at night. They stand outside and they pitch horseshoes and talk. And some of the old area miners come up and you get a chance to meet and talk with some of them. But they're pretty serious about this horseshoe thing. So if you can pitch horseshoes, you're in.
Well, we throw bags, so it can't be too far off of it.
Right. Yeah, about the same scenario.
About the same, just a little heavier.
Yeah. I mean, you get to meet some of those guys that have been doing this for 60 years plus.
Yeah, maybe get to play around with the slick plate a little bit.
Yeah,
Concentrate.
I can't promise now. Steve Pomeranke was up there, but he's busy. He's doing the reclamation of the last mining operation he has, and that's quite the effort. And he, putting it all back together, what they tore out. So we may get to see him, we may not. Sit and talk with him. He's quite the character in his own rights to talk to. So
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, no doubt.
I tried to get him to come in there. We had a few of them there this year and talk with you guys that come with me. So, but other than that, that's about it that I've got for him, Josh.
Well, and I was watching in the chat about the only questions that I had seen was early on in the show. Scott McClure had asked why Chuck was so tiny, but I had explained that at the beginning why I put the screen the way I did.
Yeah. Centerpiece.
And it worked okay. I mean, they get to see us any old time.
That's right.
Well, they get to see you any old time.
Well, we still got your circle that vibrates when you talk.
True. That's true. Some people, to me, that's just a bit disturbing.
And lately, the bubbles haven't been coming up on mine, so.
Yeah, I guess I conquered that too.
Fireworks. I think the fireworks were the best ones.
The fireworks now. So I took care of that. I shut all that off.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty cool myself, but there were a few people that had commented they thought the rain was pretty cute.
All right, I've got one more question for you two. Now, yesterday, Clay was well ahead of you guys with silver. Do you have a yearly count?
No, I used to keep track of it, but anymore it's usually just us going out and Clay being Clay, so I quit counting my stuff.
Yeah, but you're the cameraman. Every time they find something, you got to run over and take a picture.
Exactly. I was like yesterday, I'd dig a plug and he'd go, I just hear faintly off in the distance, he'd go, I got one. Okay, let me get out of my back pocket, get the camera up. Okay, I'm gonna walk back over and see what I got too. And
yeah, the cameraman doesn't wander far.
Okay, you guys must be talking about one thing you really want to find. Emery brought this up. Will
right, I was
going come this year.
We got one of Emery's fields that we're going back to this year. That's beans this year. Last year it was plowed up corn, and that's where Clay got. He got a seeded quarter. He got a
bunch of large cents, 2-cent pieces.
Yeah.
Well, if you find that you're getting overworked, Clay, call me. I'll come help you.
Hey, we're gonna have you out there with us one of these trips, Jeff.
Yeah, let's do for YouTube.
That's one of our goals is to get you over here with us.
I'll tell you what, I'll run interference, Kevin, on those two. Keeping them busy. You go find something.
Well, this field we got onto that Emery got. We were over at another field. Dennis was with us.
Yeah, Dennis got the KG3, he says, from that field too.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
nice.
we were over hunting this one field, and it wasn't really producing much. And us old guys are just standing around the car shooting the breeze, and Clay and Dominic took off and kind of did a little preview of this other field that was right next to it, and Dennis had to go somewhere, and Emery and I decided to go over and see what the boys were finding. And we get over there, and I think Dominic had a 2-cent piece.
Yeah.
And a shield. You had a shield nickel and a fat Indian. And I quickly grabbed my phone and I called Dennis up, and I said, Dennis, you sure you want to go down and check that other field down there? You better. I swear I saw on this gravel road, I saw a 360 go around on that gravel road, zip right back up to us. So we found it on it. We didn't get a whole lot, but Clay's sitting there going, hey, you guys want to come over and check this signal before I dig it? No, we were like about ready to go hit him in the head with the shovel. And we were packing it up, getting ready to leave, and he goes, "Oh, I got one more. You want to swing over this one too?" And that was his seated quarter.
Nice. Very nice.
But yeah, if there's any of the fields we've hit, I really think that this one has got about the best opportunity for a gold coin to be laying in.
Well,
out of all the fields,
they all have that opportunity. And I got a quick one about Frank Juarez. We were hunting a field, and the three of us, and Frank found this, I don't know if you call it a cufflink or what, and he's walking over, and somebody showed up, and they see us, they'll walk out in the field. Frank thought, oh, we're in trouble. So he didn't say nothing about it until later, and we weren't. They were just asking questions about the detectors. And Frank did find, and yet this beautiful cufflink, it's fully reeded edge. So if somebody made a cufflink out of a gold coin and mounted on this thing, and they did a full mount on the back, you can't see the other side of it, but it's a coin of some kind. So Frank has gotten a nice gold out of one of the fields that we work over there. So it's just, we can't figure it out. And I'm afraid to mess with it to try to get the coin off the holder.
Right.
So
I know we had a one guy that's in our club over here. He found a Spanish 8 real, and he brought it in to show. And oh, geez, that is a big coin.
It is a big coin.
They are
big coin.
Yep, that's what our silver dollars are based off. Based.
And usually marked with essay marks.
Ooh, that's cool.
A lot of times.
Well, that's all I've got, and I'll turn it over to Josh.
Well, I got one more question for him before we let him go. I'm kind of curious to see, because Kevin kind of hit on that a little bit earlier, that he was looking at paper plat maps while Clay was looking things up on Regrid. So we've got two entirely different approaches that still produce results. And I'm curious, knowing that they have two entirely different approaches sometimes, if you guys had the chance to have any one feature added to your machine that isn't already there, what would it be?
GPS to mark finds from in the locations exactly where you found.
Right. To log the coordinates of the finds.
Yeah.
How about a morel mushroom sniffing feature?
There you go.
I like it.
Yeah, I would say GPS would be really nice to have.
Now the 3030 has that.
Right.
And I don't think it was utilized enough.
A cup holder. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, some people, I mean, Frank, he'd probably want like a candy corn. Yeah.
Mike Lacquement wants a marble mode.
Hey, that'd be cool too.
And
that's one of my favorite things to do when we're out in the fields. If we eyeball up a marble out there, and we've got a lot of them over the years.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was. You may remember the gentleman's name, Chuck, because I know you knew him, but somebody there, God, what's that been? A few months back, they put up a rather comical video. I believe they were using an Equinox and claimed that they were hunting mushrooms with it. Hit a silver coin under a mushroom.
Who was that? I remember it, Josh, but the name escapes me.
Perry, maybe Douglas Perry?
That was Doug.
Okay.
asking something.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him. Yeah, if you can find that, where it's sniffing out those morels.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, we multitask a lot. We'll take the detectors with us when we're out mushroom hunting at certain spots, and then when we get in the water, we'll take the detectors and the fishing poles with.
You cover your bases, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Frank and I went out on the river, throw the detectors in, go bass fishing, then head up, hit some beaches up around the Clinton area, which has really a nice area to hunt. And there's one near Cordova where you aren't fighting the mud. And yeah, bass fish in the morning and crappie or whatever, and motor on up.
Yeah.
We want to go hit in the river some more up over here by us, but it takes so much out of you because you got to park down by the one bridge and you got to walk, and you got a long way to walk.
Oh boy.
It's like a 3-mile walk.
Oh.
Yeah. And coming back, you see the bridge that we're parked at, and I'm like, that bridge doesn't look like it's getting any closer. And by then, you've been marching through the sand and the mud and everything else. It's like, and even he gets exhausted by the time we get back.
Sounds like the next purchase may need to be a UTV or golf cart.
Well, we're getting a small boat or something that'll work up at our fishing club, and something that we can putt up and down the river on. We don't need no extravagant jet boat or anything, just something to get us from A to B.
Right. And hopefully not have to walk 3 miles to do it.
Yeah, exactly. It was interesting the last time we did our little walk up the river trip, though, because we found a trail and we kind of got on it instead of walking through the sand. And I come down the trail and I see all the leaves on the weeds around us are white, and there's bones everywhere. And I looked straight up at the cottonwood tree, and there was the eagle nest. And we had about 6 or 7 bald eagles, a lot of younglings flying around, kind of squawking at us.
Okay, the eagles.
But it was kind of cool to see that.
Yeah, that is. That's always fun. Just don't stand still under that nest. You may get whited out yourself.
Right.
Yep. Emery came with us, and boy, it was we were both, Emery and I were both absolutely wiped about 2/3 of the way through the trip.
Or there's been times where Chuck's been trying to get pictures of the eagles, and he's had to dodge falling fish.
So, well, boys, I'm going to be checking out of here. Josh, you got to close her up.
Yep, shouldn't be a problem.
Thanks, fellas.
I'll let you on out of here, and I'll give Kevin and Clay a chance to make any plugs they want to make, and we'll let them get out of here.
Okay.
You have a good night, Chuck.
Yep, guys, stay safe. Get out, find some good stuff. I know you will. I know you too. And Emery,
Hey, we got
in there too.
Well, I'm hoping the Alaska trip changes him from the Golden Horseshoe kid that gets a demotion down to the Silver Horseshoe.
Well, it's waiting for you to find it. That's all I can tell you.
Yep.
Guys, have a great one. Thanks everybody for listening in. Emery, have a good night. We're going to get you on sometime too here. You can tell us the other side of the Foxtrot story. Okay? So we'll talk to you later. Clay, thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya, Chuck.
All right. Well, and for you and Clay, are there any plugs you would like to mention before we go? YouTube channel. The club.
Oh, yep. Our local club for our area is Illinois Valley Historical Research and Recovery Association. We've been We've been a club since 2010, so we've been around a little while. We kind of molded our club kind of a cross between the Illinois-Iowa Club and the Will County Club. Originally the Will County Club, but yeah, we're members of all three, and now we just became members of McLean County Detector Club down in Bloomington. Fun group of guys. They're kind of just getting some traction back again. I think they had some problems down there for a while, but now they're kind of on the rebound. John Ramoska and his gang have been kind of helping them along, getting them built back up again. Fun group of guys. We went to a hunt of theirs this spring. It was a lot of fun. And then my YouTube channel starting to get some traction finally. It took forever to get it off and moving, but it's out there. Just look it up and like and subscribe.
And make sure to hit the notification bell.
There you go. I always forget that.
You know, we want them to like and subscribe and come back for the next video.
Yep. I've been kind of absent a little bit lately just because softball season's been going and coaching track season was going, but now I'm starting to get back out again, and hopefully the fields will be good to us this fall.
Yeah, it makes it kind of tough when you're juggling so many pokers in the fire.
Yep. But yep, I mean, I try to get enough clips together to put a video up, and if I don't, if there's like one or two little gems for the day, I'll just throw them on Facebook or whatever I choose to.
Oh, okay. There for a second, I thought you were going to say, if there's not, I tell Clay to go find more.
Well, yeah, we wait on him sometimes. Like yesterday, the score was I had two silvers in the pouch, and he's first to strike every single time we go out. But then
he's trying to go with sometimes you save the best for last.
Yeah. It's weird though, because it seems like when we go out, the best thing we find is usually the first 15 minutes, and then after that, it could be an hour before we find something else good.
Oh yeah, we've all been there. First 15 or last 15 seems like the way it goes some days.
Oh yeah, definitely does. Yeah, but our club's out there. Anybody's welcome to attend. We have our meetings at Foursquare Church in LaSalle on our meeting's tomorrow night, second Monday of every month.
Okay. Good to know. Definitely.
It's about 7:00. Everybody starts showing up about 6, and it turns into one big BS session. Well, the executives go and have their little meeting, because Clay's the secretary of our club now. I was one of the founding fathers of it. I was one of the 4 original that started it, and that was back then. I was president for the first 2.5 years.
Well, and that can take up a fair amount of time and resource as well.
Yeah, not too bad. Not bad at all. But Clay's a big secretary man now.
Yeah. Take notes.
Keeping everything running even keel.
Yeah, exactly. That's about all I got, though. Wait, what's this? Do you have a... You were there every meeting to make lemonade. No, we don't have... We have snacks, but it's not too extravagant.
Anything else that you would like to add, Clay?
Just thanks for having us.
Hey, absolutely. And truly, thanks again to both of you for taking time to be on with us tonight. It has been an absolute pleasure. And maybe we'll have to have you guys back on again, maybe after the Alaska trip, see what you guys took away from Alaska, what your thoughts were on it.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Or even Once our fields get rolling, we can do a little report on the fields, either in the fall or the spring. We'll stay out digging until the ground freezes us out.
Yeah, maybe even get Emery on with that.
Hey, that'd be good too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's enough room in there. We could set all three of you up in this.
Emery right about here.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure. I thank you both for taking the time to be on with us tonight, and we'll go ahead and let you go, and we'll get on out of here ourselves.
All right. Thanks for having us, Josh.
Anytime. Thanks for being on, guys. All right. And then there was one. Either way, now that Dennis has enlightened everyone earlier in the chat where Evanston Beach is, which clarifies things quite a bit for me. I should have Googled it, and I should have known. I mean, I've hunted the beaches around Chicago. Either way, I will try to get a post up tonight or tomorrow with a little bit of detail and let people know how they can get in contact with me as far as owner information, reward information, things of that nature. Nice. Sounds like a nice reward if it's there. That's all I can say. I mean, knowing that it's on a Chicago beach, it may or may not still be there. And if I was closer, I'd probably go try to find it myself. But hey, that's the beauty of the day and age that we're in. That's the beauty of networking and the community that we have, because we are a very helpful community, if nothing else. Remember that, folks. Thanks once again to Kevin and Clay for taking the time to be on with us. That's Kevin and Clay Barkley. You can find them on Facebook. And obviously, Kevin had mentioned the group. He mentioned his YouTube channel, Barks Detecting Bits. Link is in the description. And we'll carry that over to the podcast distribution side as well once the episode hits over there. Until the next one, have a wonderful evening, folks. Tip your bartenders on the way out. We're out of here. We sure are glad you found us here tonight. Thanks for dropping by and joining in. If you like metal detecting, treasure hunting, gold prospecting, or even entertaining discussion, check us out Wednesdays and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern, on your favorite podcast distribution services.